Hello and good evening, everyone. How are you doing this evening? Hope that everyone is having an awesome day by God's grace. We're going to get started in just a few moments. We always do a little QC first. I got to check, make sure I'm seeing you and you are seeing me. So I'm going to log in from my phone here as well. For those of you who may be new, this is our weekly webinar training. Every Thursday, we do these training and workshops so we can benefit our members from Strategic Secrets Monetize Your Skills Academy. And so we've been having several few others joining us. Maybe you get the link on Facebook or someone shared it with an email or something along those lines. But wherever you are, trust me, you are in the right place. We're going to pull up the slides in just a moment, and we are going to be getting right along with it. If by chance, just for tech sake, right, if by chance we get disconnected or you feel like your end is seem to be choppy, right above this video should be a little button that says reconnect. All you got to do is click on that and it will automatically reconnect you. So make sure also if you're on Wi-Fi in your house and several people are on, that can also slow you down. But once I can see and hear myself here, we are all good on this end. My signal strength is at full, so I know that we are okay. But sometimes those are the little hiccups that folks normally get. If you want to send me a message, you can do so. If you have a question on tonight's topic, you can always feel free to do so. Mr. John Tollett, good to have you. Martha, Jonathan, good to have you guys here as well. And again, feel free to share this out as an invitation if there's anything. Yes, John, we normally send out a replay as well. We normally give, depending on the topic, though some of the webinars do not have replay if depending on the subject matter. But generally, we have a weekend replay. So normally by Sunday it comes down Sunday evening. So over the weekend, some folks who may not catch it on a Thursday can catch it up on the weekend. So we normally, those are automated. If you sign up for this, if you just join straight from the link though, you will not get the notification. But if you did sign up from the website, meaning that, you know, a weekly webinar, strategicsecrets.com/weekly webinars, when you go there and you sign up, it automatically sends you notifications, okay? Because all of that is automatically programmed. So if you do want to get the webinar replays and you have not signed up, I encourage you folks to go ahead and check over there. Okay, strategicsecrets.com/weekly webinar. Already. So I can see and hear myself. So now we are going to pull up the PowerPoint slide and get right into it officially. We're going to be recording here as well. So let's pull up this slideshow. You know the drill. Okay, so welcome to our weekly Monetize Your Skills private members training and also members of our Strategic Secrets community. We do these training primarily because we want to benefit our members. We appreciate you following us. We appreciate you learning with us. But as you know, our content, as we do on Thursdays in particular, it is for a group of people who fit these requirements, right? So again, my name is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran, #1 best-selling author, implementation strategist. What I do every Thursday, I take my knowledge, my gifts, and talent, and I help professionals, entrepreneurs, and ministry leaders. Those three primary categories, or anyone who has a success-minded orientation. The reason for that is, again, because this content is not, okay, on the weekend you catch me, it's going to be church. It's going to be all Bible-based, spiritual. But we take these content and bring them into a practical application on a Thursday because we want you to not only win spiritually, but we want you to win in your health, in your finances, and different areas of life. So we believe that God is concerned about your success, your career, everything along those lines. So that's why we focus specifically on this set of people: professionals, entrepreneurs, ministry leaders, and those who have a success-minded orientation, because you are the men and women who goes out every single day and you change the world. But you need some training, practical, tactical stuff that will help you to become better. So We hope that all of our training, our books and courses, all of these, this is the message that comes through. We want you, based on all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, to go out now and make a lasting impact in your sphere of influence, fund your dreams, and sustain your God given mission, message, or cause. If all of those resonate with you, then you are in the right place. If they don't resonate with you, then hey, catch us on the weekend or catch us on other presentations that we normally do. But this is the bent for this particular set of training. And I think most of you, you are cool with that. But we normally say that upfront because again, we are not here to argue with folks. If you want to keep your limitations, keep them. But we are not here to justify why we do and why we don't do anything. If it's your cup of tea, take it. If it's not, just throw it out and we are able to move forward together. But we want the men and women who, yes, love God, who are passionate about their faith, but equally passionate about succeeding in the different areas of their life. But they need some good resources and tools. And we believe now that we can bring those areas together where we are not discounting the spiritual, but we are able to focus and channel it in a way that most people don't do when it comes to weekends. Already? So what are you going to learn on tonight's webinar? Today's webinar is a power-packed one. It is one that honestly I don't teach in public. You have to actually be a member of Monetize Your Skills Academy in order to get what I'm actually going to be sharing with you today. So this is both a training program where we help people, whether it be a coaching, whether it be on a workshop or seminar, something along those aspect. But I have never covered this actually in public where there was a majority of people. This is only for the select people who really and truly understand what Monetize Your Skills is all about. So are you ready for it? What are we going to learn today? I'm going to teach you my Roger method, okay? This is something that we're actually going to be working on to even get it where it's actually going to be trademarked, right? It's the Roger method. This is a 5-part system that encapsulates several things that you can do. But number one, here we go. It's a 5-step transformation process that you can use, right? And Roger, of course, there's 5 steps to it, right? That's an acronym. It's also for decision making. If you have a decision that you want to make in any area of your life, this is something that I normally use as well for myself, but also to help people to be able to go through this process to help them get the best decision that they can get. And I believe also when you apply it to any area of your life, you can have success in any field because I use this same process for projects, for programs, for books, for courses. I pretty much go through this entire process. It really was conceived. I mean, I've been using some semblance of this from my military days, but it really came about when I wrote the book Transition to Civilian Life with Confidence, right? That's for military veterans. That is really where I crystallized and went drill down deep into this process because, like I said, I was using parts of it, but I never codified it. And so that's why we want you to be a professional because many of us understand that we are successful, but we don't really know why and how we are successful. So when you can look at the areas, if you're winning in your relationships, you have a system and a process that you can coin to be able to take people to the same level of success that you have, or at least present them with that model. Because like I said, the greatest success you have in life, you're going to need systems and processes. You cannot just wing it. You cannot just go about it. You need a system and a process. There's no major company today that is winning by chance or happenstance. They have systems, processes, and protocols in place to be able to keep winning consistently, right? You go to the supply chain, if you go to Amazon, their warehouse, everything that they do, even from their shipping, even from the moment the order is taken, even for the accountants, everybody have a system and a process that they go through to get the results that they need. Many people are not experiencing the level of success they want, whether it's in their career, their health, their finances, business, whatever it may be, or ministry, because they lack systems and processes. And as a leader, as a professional, you must have a system. And I'm just sharing with you one of those systems today that I believe the Roger method can help you. And here's another thing that we normally say, that I normally use, is do not confuse simplicity for being simplistic. The simpler your system or process is actually the better for you. That's why it's good to study your system, study yourself, to understand your path from point A to point B. What steps do I need to do or go through to get the end results? And then you tweak it and fine tune it till you get it down to the bare bones minimum. So we can take a long, long step and a long, long journey to achieve something. But today, people want things that are simple. For example, Roger. Roger is very simple, right? And again, this is a military term. We say Roger that. So that's where that came about. Roger that. So we want you to use this if it can work for you. If not, then hey, I know that some semblance of it will help you out. Okay, so let's break it down now. So Roger is an acronym, right? And each of the letters, of course, stand for something. So here we go. R means research. The O is organize. G is for generate, E is for execute, and R is for repeat or refine. Okay, so that's what the Roger method is all about. Those are my 5-step process that I use when I need to make a decision, when I'm working on a project, whether it be a book, a course, or when I investigating an opportunity. Is that opportunity for me? Is it not for me? I take it through this simple 5-step process, and then I'm able to make a more informed decision. And generally, I can live with my decisions. It's when I make a decision without having a process or system in place, then I really am not sure. And then I second guess myself at times. But I find that when I go through it systemically using the Roger method or something similar, I find that I am more confident when I make a decision because I know I've put in my due diligence. So let's break down now each of these, and we're going to see now how they apply to your life. I'm going to try to bring in several different applications, because here's the thing. You don't have to ask if Roger method is going to work for me in my business, in my career, in my ministry, in my nonprofit, in my relationships, in my health. Listen, Roger method, that's why we work on principles and systems, because they can cross over niches and industries, right? So Roger will work for you in any area of your life. Okay, trust me on that. That's why we said here's part of the 5-step process that we use to succeed in any field. Okay, in any field of endeavor, right? It's simple, but here's again, most of the things that are simple, people don't do that. Jim Rohn says the thing that is easy to do is also easy not to do. It is the simple stuff that kills us, right? Everybody know that smoking is bad for you, but almost many people smoke. Everyone know we need to exercise in order to be healthy, but we don't do it, right? Everyone knows that we all need to sleep, but we don't get enough of it. Everyone knows that we need to be loving, but we don't do it. It's the simple things that trip us up in life. And that's another principle from the scripture, is everything that God gives mankind in order for his or her betterment is actually simple. Have you ever gone through the book of Proverbs? Very simple wisdom strategies, but they yield great results. And that's why most people don't like to use complicated systems and processes. I'm telling you, Roger, you're never going to forget it, because it's very simple, right? Roger, Roger that. So it is such an easy name. And then you're going to go through, oh, what does the R stands for? So at least now you'll be thinking about it. You can remember this, Roger, right? Roger's an easy acronym. So I'm not telling you to go read a book that is 300 pages long. I'm not telling you each of these system, each of the steps rather, is 100 page long, right? No, we're breaking it down in its simplest form for you tonight, so that you can use it and you can up level any area that you want. So let's talk about the R now. R is the preparation phase, right? Before you make a decision, before you jump on an opportunity, before you try to launch a product or a new service in your business or a new program in your nonprofit, you want to do some research. This is what we call doing your homework, right? So research thoroughly, because if you make decision based on faulty information, remember in January when we started out the year, I also gave you another system called IPO, input plus process equals output. If your input is wrong, generally, it doesn't even matter if you have a good system, you're going to get faulty outcomes because you do not have good input. This is a plastic bottle. Even if you have the best machinery, which is a system to create this plastic bottle, but if I put metals in at the beginning, Guess what I'm not going to get? I am not going to get a plastic bottle no matter how good my system is. Why? Because I started with faulty information, faulty input. So that's why the first thing you must do, even when you are dating, think about it. People who are looking for a relationship, if you're single probably tonight, or if you're married, think about it. Before you invested time in this person that you're now with, you researched, you spent some time studying them. And some of us should have probably spent more time. So I'm saying tonight, this is the first thing you want to do. So you want to utilize all the learning modalities, seeing, hearing, handling, or a combination of. Some people are kinesthetic, some people are audiovisual. So you have to know how you learn the best and gather information. Yes, that may mean reading some books. That may mean researching online. That may mean going to conferences. So hearing it, seeing it, and also interacting with a thing to gather the information. So this is where you become like a detective. You investigate what you hope to accomplish. So think about it. Everything fits in that. Let's start with the spiritual folks. If I'm preparing for a sermon, or if you are preparing to preach a message or something like that, you have to go research a topic, research your passage that you're about to preach. You do your inductive and deductive stuff, and you're able to now pull out from the text what needs to be preached, right? So same thing. If you're going to go buy a house, what does the first thing you do? The first thing you do, or what is the first thing you do rather? The first thing you do is you go research. Maybe you will research the real estate agents. You make sure you get a good one. Then you go scout in the neighborhoods where you want to live, or you go research online. Even before you get out in your car, you look at the schools in the neighborhood. You look at the amenities that are there. Do they have swimming pool? What's the crime rate? What's the median income? You look at all these different aspects before you even venture out in taking action. That's where we're going to get on to the next steps, right? So you want to hunt for information and tools to get a clear picture of exactly what it is that you want or where you're trying to go. So you want to gather data from reputable sources or sound sources. There's a reason I put an asterisk on this one. Because again, if your information is faulty, it will lead to faulty outcomes and faulty decisions. So again, if you are trying to improve your economics, your finances, or you're trying to invest, you don't go to someone who's not investing or someone who's broke, even if they might be knowledgeable, but experientially, they're not there. So this is why we talk about faulty outcomes. We've all went through it, right? I have made terrible purchasing decisions because I trusted some people and I think, man, you know what? They seem to have it together. And I realized that they didn't have it together. And it cost me. It cost me tremendously in terms of money and lost time because I consulted the wrong source. And that source led me down the wrong path. So that's why you want to be careful of searching for information. So we look, for example, people who are doing their PhD and so forth like that. If they're doing a dissertation, sources is very important. Even though Wikipedia, for example, is great, you can't necessarily just use Wikipedia in a doctoral research, right? Because and everything on Google is not true either. So you have to dig deeper than simply a basic Google search. So the more important the decision or the more expensive and costly the outcome is, the more research and information you should gather. Now, this does not mean, I give you a little caveat here, this does not mean you get into information overload, okay? I'd rather sometimes we make a decision than having too much information that we just simply can't make one, right? So that's called analysis by paralysis or paralysis analysis. You don't want to be paralyzed from making a decision because you are overwhelmed. What we are saying is you gather enough information that will warrant a decision or an outcome. If it's a small outcome or it's not have a meaningful impact, you don't need to do a lot of research. Okay. For example, if I'm going to build, let's just say, a website, I mean, I don't have to go search Google all day long or search all over the place all day long to find a graphic designer or a web designer, right? No, I don't. I can just ask two or three friends and that will suffice. Or I can go on even Facebook and ask for recommendation. I check two or three. That's probably might be the maximum I'll do. I don't have to go 10. If I'm going 10, that's information overload. See what I'm saying? But again, when you're buying a house, you want to take your time. Why? Because that involves 6 and 7 figures investment. So you want to make sure that you do your homework more thoroughly. Okay? So that's research. Okay. Let's look at a few more examples. If you want to get a degree to transition to a six-figure career, then you want to research. So I'm showing you basic ones, right? Research what schools offer such degrees, what are the costs, what are the length of the programs, and which one is the best overall. Okay, I think I've shared with you something like this before, where for me, this is exactly what I do in terms of schools and others too. I put three different columns. I give scores of 20 or 25, and then I rank them, and whichever one seems to be the best, that's generally the one that I go with. Again, want to make decisions because even schools, for example, like a degree, is an expensive thing and it costs you time as well. So you don't just want to haphazardly choose a university. Okay, you want to choose the university that will get you to where you're going. But I specifically mentioned, for example, six-figure careers, right? Because anybody can get a degree. But we're talking about if you want specifically a career field that pays you six figures, then you want to research what school is best for that. Well, we all know, for example, medical school, dental school, lawyers, and so forth, right? But when we talk about, for example, hospital administrators, when we talk about project managers or program managers, these people also make six figures. But you will have to probably go look and research for those kind of schools because most people don't teach those type of things, right? So that's what we are talking about. You have to do your homework. If you want to start an online business or online ministry, research the niches that match your particular gift set, your talents, your expertise. And then what are the price points that people are paying in this industry or niche that you're trying to go into? And then now you will be able to now make a better decision as to what product, program, or service best suits this industry niche and at what price point. See what I'm saying? Because sometimes you might want to bring a product to life and you might say you might charge too much or you charge too little. Most people charge too little because they have not done their homework. So that's where research comes in. If everybody in your industry is, let's just say, this water was super energetic water or something like that that keeps you, makes you 10 years young. Okay, and let's just say it was going for $10,000. Everybody's charging $10,000 for this water, and here you are now trying to come in the market to do something similar. Well, it wouldn't do you much good to now charge $5,000 for this water because the majority of people are charging 10,000, and not only that, people are also paying 10,000. And some people like to try to undercut everybody else on price. So now they say, okay, maybe if I charge $5,000, then everybody comes to me. Not necessarily. Most people will not come to you because they might think you have an inferior product because the market is willing and able to pay $10,000. So when you come into the market, you might think that you're underpricing everyone else. That's not the way to be competitive in a business because no one wants to compete for the bottom position. See? So many people don't know how to price their products because they normally just don't do the research. Do the research and you'll get the better outcome. Next, organize. So after you've done your research, you want to organize this information that you dug up. You want to assemble your findings now in a logical order, separating what you can use from what you cannot use. In other words, you sift through the pile and you weed out the chaff. You take the good and you throw the bad out. So you have to observe also any notable trends and see if there are repeatable patterns, right? I covered this in the new course that we recently created. And by the way, that's up and out for those of you who want to get pandemic survival system. Go to strategicsecrets.com, check on our list of courses. We just released in June a brand new course called Pandemic Survival System. And in the last module of that, I went in depth into this particular skill. I talk about 7 skills that people need in order to thrive in this post-pandemic period, and one of those skills is being able to forecast or to to know trends. So what are the trends that I see? Again, if I were using the business model, I would say, okay, I researched 10 businesses and all of them are charging between $10,000 to $12,000 for this super energetic water or whatever the product or program or service is. If you have let's say, I don't know, a consulting firm or coaching program, if everybody's charging $1,000, then that's a repeatable pattern that you can notice. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. If you are trying to, again, same thing, you want to go to medical school and you are from a certain background or demographic, you can say, okay, the majority of people normally go to these type of schools. There are certain programs and and grants that are available to people like me. So maybe I more gravitate towards that. Doesn't mean you have to make the final decision, but those are the kind of patterns that you want to look for, repeatable patterns over time. So same thing with school. So now I notice, okay, if I'm trying to get a master's or doctorate degree in a certain field, and then 10 schools are charging pretty much the same price, then that's not going to be the thing that differentiate one from the next, because they're all on the same level there. I need to look for a different variable that will now bump one up above the other. Okay. So the same thing you want to think about again in any area. If you're looking at opportunities, you have to have these metrics. What are important to you? What are the things that are important to you that warrants you taking this position or letting it go? So if you're starting a new job, you might say, okay, all of them are paying the same thing, but this one allows me to telecommute, or this one allows me more time off on vacation. Now, if family is a priority to you, even though all the others are paying well, you might say, you know what, I'm going to go with this one because based on my value of family and my prioritization of family, I would rather have more time and less pay, because this is my biggest value. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So for me, I know, like I said, when I first started on my career, everything was pretty much, hey, I want to make money. That was my first job, right? Because you're young, you just started. My very first job was the military. So my number one thing was just success and moving forward. My second career endeavor, which was nonprofit, that there though, money was not high on my value list. Okay, what was most important to me was impact. And so that's why I went into nonprofit. I made 1/3 less of what I was making in the military, but I was more happy and I achieved more than I was in the military. Why? Because I was in alignment with the thing that I valued most. But if I did not organize myself and organize even my own list of values, doing research, because I took even several tests as well, one being Career Direct from Crown Financial Ministries, and I discovered that my unique gift and personality, where yes, early in my career, that was my drive. But after I got a bit older and a little more wise, I realized that you have to be able to balance things out. Now, this is my third transition here. So what I say now is I put that income back up there because having done nonprofit work, I realized that it does cost a lot in order to make the impact. So now they are in balance now. So therefore, I could not continue doing nonprofit work like that because it did not supply me with the necessary income to make the kind of impact I wanted to make. And that's why I am doing what I'm doing now, where I bring both worlds together, because now I realize, and that's part of my master's research project, which is why we are all here. I was able to research how are people making an income and an impact, basically monetizing their skills, leveraging the power of technology. So that way I can remain in what I'm doing, but I can leverage my tools online where I don't have to create courses every single week. I don't have to create books every single week. What I do is once they're created, they're there, and now they can impact the world. I researched all of that. I studied over 101 people, 110 people for that research project, and I was able to discover these trends. And that's why I moved in that area. So it was an educated decision, as it were. Okay, so let's look at some examples. Other examples again. If you're seeking a degree in a particular career field, then you want to group universities and that you've researched that are similar, separated by cost, by offers, like your like or dislike level. We mentioned some of this before. If you're launching a business, you want to note what are the required costs, what are the different business models and organizational structures, and compile demographic and psychographic data of your market, right? The people that you're going to serve. Here's what we are saying with that. Let me break that down just a little bit. Now, in business, there are different business models. You can set up an LLC, you can set up an S Corp, a C Corp, and so forth. So if you look at several business models for incorporation, you will realize, or you can even be a sole proprietor, right? But if you're looking for some protection, you don't want to have a lot of bureaucracy or a lot of paperwork, then maybe, and I'm not giving legal advice here, then maybe the LLC might just be better for you. If you're not trying to necessarily employ thousands and thousands of people, LLC seems to be more attractive. It is better than a sole proprietorship and is not as complicated as most of the other incorporations. So therefore, that might be the model. But you have to research and compare which ones are the best. Now, here's how I knew that this also was something that is ideal for me. Because when I looked at all the experts, industry leader, thought leader, people like myself who are monetizing their gifts and talents in education and expertise, I realized that most of them were actually doing a simple LLC. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't take rocket science. If the majority of them are doing LLC, then obviously LLC seems to be the most attractive and simple to create. So therefore, bam, I just, I did it all actually myself. Went down to the county courthouse, was able to set that thing up in one day, and you're good to go. So research, okay? Research, research, research. Alrighty, let me slow down just a second. Jono says I'm going through this process right now in regards to getting my next job. Good stuff, Jono. Good stuff, man. Okay, let's see here. Let me continue. And by the way, normally we give a lot of shout out. I'm trying to rush through this because I want to keep time here. I'm not rush through in the sense of cut you off from hearing the content, but the point is that we want to stick to an hour. So again, others who are on here, Martha, John, and others, if you guys have questions, you can probably send me a direct private message, and we try to answer those as well. Okay. Alrighty. So now let's go on to the next letter in the acronym. What's the next step? Now we want to generate. After we have done our research and we have organized our findings and discoveries, now this is pre-launch. This is now the phase just before you take off. Okay. So this is going to be the phase where you now generate your ideas, concrete ideas, goals, and strategies now to achieve the outcome. So in other words, let's just say, I know I'm going to go to advance my education, my academics. It's a decision you've already made. Now you've done your research, you've looked at all the universities, you've done all of that. Then now you have researched it, you have organized your list, and then you now say, okay, what's going to get me to this goal the fastest, right? So my thing is, those are the kind of stuff I go through. I say, listen, many people, that's why I love online, because I know when I discover, this is a sad thing, but most people don't even know their learning style. You need to discover how you learn the best and how you learn the fastest. And that's why today I believe the power of technology is a really powerful source, because now people don't have to limit themselves to one type of learning or one place of learning, right? So, because I always found it problematic that everybody has to go through a university course together at the same time. I'm like, what about people who can accelerate and learn the information faster, but they all have to go through together slowly with the semester? Listen, that's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying for those who need to go further ahead, let them go ahead. And those who need it more time as well, they shouldn't have to complete it in your, whether it's 8 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever. If they need more time, they have more time. But this way of doing school and education in the old way, everybody come to class at the same time, everybody have to finish the same time, and so forth. No. The world has changed. So I discovered my learning style is audiovisual. Because I used to, of course, I still love to read and all that stuff. But I realized that consuming content, I love it when it's audio visual. Okay, I want to hear it and I want to see it, because when I'm hearing it, my brain is doing something that even beyond the physical reading. I still read, but my point is, this is my learning style. My learning style is an audio visual learner. I pick up the information faster and I get wisdom and ideas better than simply reading, because even when you read it, sometimes you read yourself to sleep, right, if you're not focused. So, but when I'm listening to a thing, I can play it back over and over again, and then it becomes even part of you where you can repeat a lot of it because I've heard it several times. So you want to now generate these ideas, having conducted your due diligence. If you haven't done your due diligence, this is going to be hard, because now you're setting concrete goals. By when do I want to complete this degree? Where exactly do I want to live? And who's going to give me, out of these people that I'm buying the house from, or these places that I see, or these neighborhoods, which one has the best deal for for my dollar? Which one is going to give me the biggest bang for my buck? That's the kind of stuff that you want to set here. Now, we're going to get down to the specific, how to set goals. If you need some ideas on that, in my book, Strategic Secrets, I have a section in there on how to set goals. If you also want simple, quick information, go to my blog. We have a blog, strategicsecrets.com/blog. If you go there, you will also see, read up several, I have several posts, and all of that is free. I have several posts on how to set goal setting and achievement. But one of my favorite, I give a 7-step process in setting effective goals. But let's just take the basic one that we all know, right? SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So this is where you do that now. Based on the information you have, let's set some goals, okay? Because if you don't have a goal, then how are you going to hit the target? How are you going to know how you're progressing? So you must set goals for your life. And along with the goal, what strategy are you going to use to achieve the goal swiftly? Like I said, let's take again, we go back, academia. If I'm going through academia, because I already know my learning style is audiovisual, then I know how to hack the learning process and how to be able to finish the course quickly. And also, if I need more time, how can I catch up? Right? So that's pretty much what I do. And I love, again, online because it's totally flexible. Actually, I'm taking a course right now in Christian entrepreneurship. One of the courses I take. Now, they have their own way the course is set up, right, in the syllabus. But I'm not going through the course based on the syllabus. I'm going through the course based on my learning style. See what I'm saying? So, for example, there's a whole bunch of reading. But what did I do? There's also some DVDs. Yes, they still use DVDs, but there's some DVDs. Guess what I did? I watched every single one of the DVDs first. What did that do? That gave me an idea of the entire course. This is where we're going. 12 units. This is exactly where we're going. So by watching all of those DVDs, I now, before I have to go read the book and do all the lessons, I get an idea. This is what this course is. So therefore now, let's go back. And now, I just listen to and watch over and over again. And sometimes the information is already there. I look at the questions, I read the question, and sometimes I don't even have to actually go through the syllabus, bit by bit. I just look at the assignment, and based on what I know the content or chapter is about, I do the assignment even without having to go through the whole entire stuff or read it verbatim. Because that's how, when you know how you learn best, trust me, it will accelerate your learning and you will be able to do extremely well. And so far, by God's grace, for this particular course at least, we've got straight A's on there because you learn best and you do your stuff best. That's the system and process that we're talking about. Input, process, output. Now, if it was health, you know that this is where you want to go. You want to lose 10 pounds in the next 10 weeks. Well, it shouldn't take 10 weeks, but let's just say hypothetically 10-10, right? That means I know I need to lose 1 pound per week for 10 weeks and I will lose 10 pounds. Now, that is the goal. What is the system that allows you, or the strategy that allows you to lose this 10 pounds? So now this is where now, hopefully in your research, you would have also looked at what are the best ways of losing 10 pounds. So guess what? That's where you might now, your system could be P90X. See, that's the system of getting your body toned. The beach body, right? T25. That's a system, a process. From some of my faith-based friends, that's New Start, right? That's your 8-step process for losing weight or becoming healthy. That is how you achieve the goal. Okay? For marriage, it's the same thing I do. I know John was on here. Well, see him, a marriage counselor. That should be part of your stuff to accelerate. For me, is what I use is a 5-step process, same thing like this, right? I have a 5-step process for marriage and relationship. It's what I do when I counsel people for premarital counseling. And also when I preach at the wedding or deliver my homily at the wedding, guess what I go through? I give them my 5-step process, which is another acronym for having good relationships. That's it. So I like to systematize my life by these kind of steps and processes. So I say in my relationship, I know if I use my 5-step process, that's how I do. In the health, I generally try to follow New Start. If I don't have anything else, New Start is my default. Okay. In my academics, audiovisual learning, this is the way. Okay. What else? In finances, I know, okay, I follow the pill method by Don Daniel, right? That's for getting out of debt and paying off stuff. That's the method that I use. And I also know Dave Ramsey. I use Dave Ramsey material. So that's what I'm saying. You have a game plan. I have a goal, but I know the system of being able to get to the goal and get it easy. Okay, so that's again where you need to generate both the goals, steps. Don't just say I want to lose weight. Don't just say I want to get married. Don't just say I want to be healthy. Don't just say I want to what else? I want to start a business. This is where in this phase now you're generating the steps as well to achieve those things. If you're starting a business, I already done the research. File your articles of organization or incorporation, open a bank account, okay? Design a website, maybe have business cards. Nobody use them anymore, but if that's part of what you want to do, you want to say that and so forth. Then you want to say my marketing strategy. What's my marketing strategy? I have to have a system and a process for marketing as well. For me, marketing strategy is two things primarily. We use Facebook and we use Brandzuka, right? Even above YouTube. YouTube is great. YouTube works for everybody. I'm still trying to even get YouTube myself. So, but my thing is I use another video platform, and that's where we do ads on that platform. So that's how you do your thing. So have a system that accomplishes the goal. Don't just set the goal, have a system to go with it. We do that also in your research. Next one is execution. Oh boy, everybody knows Dr. Eric Thomas. He says execution is worship, right? It's all about execution. So this is where we now launch. The other steps we were preparing. We got all the information we need. We had a pre-launch. Now we are actually launching. This is where you now release the stuff. So the launch phase involves actually implementing. Oh, this is where everybody fails. Trust me. What separates winners and losers at the end of the day are the action takers. I don't care how much you know, I don't care how smart you are, the people who take actions get the results, period. And I struggle with it in different areas. Some areas we are good, but in other areas we fall down. Here's the thing. Everybody knows you go to the doctor tells you this is what you got to do. Most patients do not follow through with the treatment plan. People want to lose weight, but when they go and they're told this is what you need to do, everybody buy the gym equipment, get organized. They even buy P90X, T25, and so forth, the Beachbody program, but it sits there in their closet and so forth, right? We've got the pull-up thing. I got one over here in my bedroom as well. Guess what? But how often do I use that thing? Not often, a lot, because action beats the best intention every single time. You must become an executioner. So execution is rightly applying strategic secrets to achieve a specified or desired outcome. It is putting into motion what you know you should do, and I would dare say when you ought to do it. Right? Because some of us know we should do something, but there's also a crucial time in getting it done. Okay, that's actually a quotation by Brian Tracy, right? When he talks about discipline. Discipline is being able to do the thing you need to do when you ought to do it. Okay, so it is also where you take massive action is the operative word, and not just think about it or talk about it anymore. Why? Because I've been talking about it in the research and organization phase. That's the talking and thinking phase. Now is action. We don't want to talk no more. We don't want to hear how much you planning to lose weight. You've been saying that since 1888. This is the time to execute. And this is the problem even with people of faith, because we pray. But after you pray, God is saying, get up and go do something about it now. I've given you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You can't just pray all your problems away. Prayer is powerful. But I tell you, man, in the church, the biggest problem I see with most people why they're not succeeding in their spiritual life is really because they're not doing anything. They think that by praying alone, that is the equation to solve it. Listen, God gave you a hand, and he gave you feet, and he gave you a brain, and he gives you skills and abilities. You cannot pray God to come and comb your hair. You don't pray God to brush your teeth. You don't pray to God to do all these things. Why? Even if you did, he's going to say, but why do you have hands? Right? Some people pray for a job and they don't ever go look for a job. Some people want to start a business and they just pray, Lord. And some people pray, give me some money. How do you think people get money? I never seen God rain money out of the sky in my life, nor have I ever read it in a book. If you did, it's probably a fairy tale, right? But God, even if someone is to give you money, someone worked for that and they utilize action in order to get that money. They work, they invest, they had a business or something. But money is not something that you wish for. Money is something that is created because someone put some effort into a system, product, program, or service And that's how money is made. So if you want money, it's very easy. It's very simple. Go and create something. Offer a product, program, or service to somebody who will pay for it. That's really what it boils down to at the end of the day. And if you pray for it, God is going to touch somebody who actually can do those things. But here's why. You don't want to always be in that position, because the good book also says it is blessed, is more blessed to give than to receive. In other words, the giver is more blessed than the receiver. Why? Because if you only on the receiving end, the person, there's, like they said, there's more where that came from. I want to be in the position of the person who is giving out that money. Why? Because that means they have something going on. They are able to create this thing and write those big checks. So that's why we have to get out of this mentality. And that's why stay tuned. As soon as I close this, I'm going to give you a link to attend our workshop. We have a Bible finance seminar that is coming up, but it's not just simply about, just quoting scriptures only, right? We're going to bring on 4 experts for 4 hours. This is an online summit for 4 hours. 4 different speakers are going to be on, and they're going to teach you what you need to know practically. And the reason we call it Bible Finance Seminar, right, because some of you have been here. We've been doing we've done 3 weeks worth of messages from the Bible that has to do with handling our money God's way. Of mediocre thinking and poverty thinking that we've had. That's the thing that's robbing us the most. Okay, that's the thing that's robbing us the most. I tell you, I'm learning myself. I don't stop learning. Okay, like I said, right now I'm taking a course in Christian entrepreneurship. Why am I doing that? I don't. No one is paying me to do that. My church doesn't require it, but I'm doing it for me. Okay. And one of the chapters we talk about was a poor church mentality, right? It's a book called Money by Design. That's one of the books that I have to read for this course, right? It's called Money by Design. And the guy goes over this thing that is really crippling many people of faith because they don't get it. They don't get it. And it's just practical stuff. God can bless everybody, but there are laws that govern outcomes. And if the Christian or faith-based person is not utilizing these processes and systems, it does not matter how much you pray. You're going to get by. That's about it. Right? Because he has pity on you. But the point is, you will not flourish, nor will you prosper tremendously, because everyone who is prospering tremendously is simple. They are engaged in business, they're engaged in investing, they're engaged in something along these lines. They're monetizing their skills. And so that's how they're able to definitely create wealth. There's a difference. So if you don't want, if you want to do more than get by, then stay tuned for the link. It's coming right up. All right, so execute. I think we got it right. Execution is where you take action. This is where you actually do the thing, not researching anymore. At this point, we're not dealing with information anymore. We are doing only application. You go out and you apply for the job. If that's what you're trying to do, get a job. In this phase, you actually go do it. Okay. If it's taking a course or a degree, is actually you enrolled now. You're not talking about enrolling. You're not calling up the guidance counselors and the registrar. You're actually in the course, right? If it's a business, you've actually gone down to the county and you registered your business and you're actually in business. Okay. If you need to build a website, the website is now built, or you paid somebody and they're in the process of doing it. If it's a product that you're creating for your business or a new service, it's doing the thing. It's no longer talking about it and strategizing about it. It's the implication. And also now, for those of you who are in relationship, this also me, because some people, I meet a lot of people, I'm praying for somebody and they've been praying for so long to get a mate. I'm like, brother, sister, listen, let me tell you something. It ain't rocket science either. The good book gave these principles. This is the kind of mate you look for. If the person has those qualities, for the fear of God and yourself, go forward, right? Go forward. Listen, I know, hey, we have counselors on here. You may have some other advice. For me, it's, again, simplicity. Folks, it doesn't have to be so hard. If you prayed for 3-4 years to get a spouse, trust me, you just really missing the boat. This is where you actually go and you are actually dating somebody. Don't just pray God send the right person along. You know, I've never seen him bring the right person along just by people sitting down like that. No. You gotta go, you gotta date, you gotta go and you gotta introduce yourself. You gotta go and go out to eat. You gotta go and do something. Do something. You know, ladies out there, if you're single or somebody on this broadcast or who will listen to this replay, if there's a guy who been checking you out, help him out. Today's people, we are on a whole nother level today. Folks are afraid, folks are just intimidated. They have more friends on Facebook than they have in person, so we don't even know how to communicate anymore. So ladies, you got to help some of these guys out. And if you are a lady and you have a guy who is being dating you for more than 2 years and have not popped the question, I say this: leave him and find somebody else, because he's wasting precious time, right? He's wasting your time and he is wasting God's time already, because somebody else could be invested there already. That's a little side note. So I hope that you have taken this, make it your own. The last step is now repeat. Repeat, rinse and repeat. After you've executed, you've put it out there, you tried the product, you've written the book, you created a course, you in the relationship, you whatever it may be. Now, this involves reassessing what worked and what didn't work. Okay? Then you repeat what is working and you rinse out what is not working. So don't be afraid. Have the courage to throw away things that are not working. So many of us are beating our heads against things that are not working. Listen, if you listen, we're not saying to give up easily now. This is not, but there's a difference, because some people say we got to just work hard. Yes, work hard if it's smart, but don't just simply work hard. There's a lot of people who are still broken, poor, and busted and disgusted, who are working very hard. They are not working with systems and processes, or they're not fitted for this particular job or business or ministry. You have to work on the thing that you are good at, that God has gifted you to be able to do. So if you are working on something for a long time and it's not working out, please just throw it out, try again, go on to something else, create another product. Listen, the market values certain products and programs or services for a season, and sometimes it's gone, right? For example, like taxes sometimes is a seasonal business, right? There's some things, if you want to have continual employment in that, then you probably have to go work for a major corporation that needs ongoing tax services. But generally, when is tax season the best? When is the best spike for it? Probably in the fall, going on to springtime, because most people at the end of the year, they know taxes coming up next year. So at least in the western part of the world, this is the US I'm talking about. So when we look at December to April 15th is when most taxes are due. That's the time when most people in the tax industry makes money. Okay. But if you are trying to make money at other seasons, don't say, God, why are you not blessing me? No, he's saying get a different gig or something, right? If you're studying too, I find a lot of students do this too. Students working on degrees that they don't like or they're struggling with big time, and they just keep hammering it. Again, I blame that a lot on many of our upbringing. I think if parents would study their children and realize what they're good at, listen, we don't mean that we shouldn't have trials. That's not what I'm saying. But you want to do the thing that you are good at, that you are the best in, not struggling and so forth. So take a degree program that you can be the best at, that you can ace, not the ones where you're getting D's and maybe C's. Definitely, if you're getting D's, drop it. It's not for you. If you're barely feathering on C's, then drop it. It's not for you. Get into the degree program, the courses that you can be the ace in, that you can be having A's and B's and so forth and whatnot, because that comes to you more naturally. And that's something you are interested in. Okay, that doesn't mean, again, we give up on things easily, but what I'm saying is, you know when something is not working. You know when something is not working. Guys and ladies are in relationships, it's not going anywhere. Now, I'm not saying if you're married now, of course, you see a professional, right? But my thing is, don't stay in an abusive relationship. I don't care even if you're married. Some people in relationships, it's not working out. And you just swear to yourself that it's going to work out. No, have the courage to walk away from what's not working and get into that which is working. If you're trying this business system is not working, try another one. Like I said, there's many marketing stuff, but there's some just for you. Like I said, Facebook is good. That's been good to me. I work Facebook. YouTube is good. It's powerful. I have not found the kind of success yet in YouTube. So I use another service. It's not even popular, but I use it because it works for me. And I understand it and I can run my own ads on there. YouTube, even though it might be simple to some, it's not simple to me. Facebook, I find, is hard for some people, but it's easy for me because I've run a lot of ads on there. So I know it. The other platform, I work it, I know it. That's what I'm saying. I try YouTube. Hey, I can't get it. It hasn't given me no results. Why am I going to mess with it? Even though it's good. It's good for you. It's not good for me. You got to know what's good for you and what's working. Keep working it. If it's not working, get something else. Okay? Regroup. Do a better job next time. Okay? And that's another thing. You might still push forward in the direction, but you want to reorganize and retool. In other words, if you're in business, your marketing is not working, it doesn't mean you stop marketing. No, it means that I'm retooling. I'm getting a better tool to help me accomplish the job. Okay? So I am morphing into something else. Some books, same thing. I have some books that are, I got 12 of them that I've written. All of them are not doing well, right? There's actually a handful that is doing well. One of them is the smallest book, and I'm like, I don't understand up to this day, right? It's my smallest book is actually the book that does well. And maybe because again, folks don't like to read, I'm telling you, right? But that book, The Certainty of God's Promises, it's even like this big. It's not even a full-size book, but that book is a book that does well for me, right? So why am I going to waste time on all the other ones and try to promote them? I don't promote them either because the interest is not there. They were hot when they came out. So it's time to create others. So that's all I have for you there. If there's any question, you can throw it in there. Let's see. Let me look something here. John, my man, says, I agree. Studying your children is very important. Many people are not operating in their areas of giftedness. And John, that's true. And even sometimes we might even be doing well. I think that was even my case because I like to learn and I can probably figure things out. But I know even for me, I think if my parents had studied my giftings, I probably could have might have been further ahead than where I am today, or certainly avoided some fields. But I think that this is something that's why we now, knowing better, we are studying our own child. And that's why we also, at least minimum for the first 7 years, homeschooling, right? We homeschooling for right now, but we probably going to keep doing it. But at least we wanted to see the trend and trajectory of where our son is going and his learning style and what he's kind of gravitating towards and help to shift him in that because it really, like I said, will save time. That's why a lot of kids go to school, man, and they change majors 2 or 3 times. That's money and that's time. You don't have a lot of time, right? Or they get into career fields and then you have to pivot later on. Again, time and money setback. By the time you in your 30s or 40s, you kind of set, you're in a groove, and to pivot to go start a whole new career field or degree field, unless of course times are changing and so forth. That I definitely, you got to pivot, period. But I'm just saying, if it's just because you were misaligned, I think we missed an opportunity. Now I have to infringe on my present lifestyle and my family, rob them of time, plus also, throw out more money in order to go get something else. Okay. So you want to help your kids with that. You want to help yourself with that. Again, just study and look at what you are gifted at. If you need some help, I recommend Career Direct from Crown Financial Ministries. Okay. There are some that I mentioned in Monetize Your Skills Academy as well. I listed some stuff. Some people, I took Strength Finders. Strength Finders 2.0 is another tool that you can use. Some people have taken Myers-Briggs and other things, or personality assessment. I've taken several of them. So again, I study myself. I want to know from several different aspects, so not just one thing. So, but for me, Crown has been the best. The one Career Direct from Crown is the most thorough that I've been through. I think Eric Thomas has a good program too. I think it's the animal assessment or something like that. I don't know if he changed the name, but I know I've heard Eric Thomas talk about that too. So if you want to figure that out, go to etinspires.com and look for those assessments and take them and even get a coach that will help you, okay, to be able to do that. The DISC, DISC, is something that I took as well and my wife took, so I can also look at her gifting and understand her giftings, right? So these are things where, again, we don't even get these things. I think that even when I do, in the future, if we do marriage counseling, these are things that we should have couples do, because couples need to also know how they're wired, because communication is a big problem. And we just don't know each other, right? And I think encouraging one another would also be a big benefit there as well. So again, check those resources out. Okay. Now let me tell you about the course that we have. I mean, the workshop that we have coming up on Sunday here. I'm going to put it right below this video. So right below this video, you should see a link, or go to strategicsecrets.com and you will be able to get that program. But again, it's a biblical finance summit. It's going to be not this Sunday, because this is Father's Day for those who are watching. We don't want our videos to be dated, but at the same time, this is going to be Sunday, June the 28th. Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, from 3 to 7 p.m. 4 hours of power-packed information. 4 different speakers will spend 1 hour each teaching you several aspects of financial management. I need to come back on screen. I got to talk to you guys. Let me see here. Let me end this PowerPoint and get back on screen. So again, Roger method, please go over it, learn it. You can use it to transform an area of your life for making decisions or finding success in products. Again, research, organize, generate, execute, repeat. Research, organize, generate, execute, and repeat. That's my Roger method. Thank you for watching, and I hope that that blessed you. Now let's talk about this workshop that we are having. Okay, so again, for those of you, if you're on your computer, it should be on the right or left hand side of the screen. Just click on there, go register. Okay, when you register, we're also giving away several bonuses. But let me tell you about the people who are going to be in this real quick. Okay, we're right at the 1 hour mark. Okay, good. So we have 4 different speakers. It's going to be a 4-hour online summit. Okay, now here's the thing: you have to be present in person to get this stuff. The replays will be paid. If you're not going to be there, that's cool. We make it affordable though. But because again, this is powerful information, we want to make sure that you get it. So it's going to be free, of course. We are covering all the costs and everything like that. And you know, we want to make sure everybody gets there. This, for those of you who are faith-based or in my area, this is an in-depth study and a more tactical and practical approach, because we, like I said, we covered 3 of these messages before, where we talk about different aspects of biblical finance. But this one now is how to actually build wealth. So now, number 1, we're going to have Mr. Philip Westerman. Okay, Philip Westerman is a financial advisor. Okay, he's a senior project manager. He also, of course, is an elder at our church. Him and I, we both tag team on doing this series. He's going to be talking to you about the kingdom principles for wealth building. In his last presentation, he talked to you how he was able to advise his own father. You know, when your family taking your advice is very important. And his father passed on, but was able to leave him now assets to the family. You know why? Because again, the good book says that the righteous person leaves an inheritance for their children and grandchildren. There are many of us who say we are righteous and we are even good people, but we are ignoring the scripture. But the book says the righteous person, the good person, leaves an inheritance. And many of us leave nothing behind but debt and bills and drama. Okay, so people, when they're crying at funeral, they're not all crying because they miss this person. They're crying for all the problems that even in death, you're still leaving them with issues. So we don't want that to be the case. We want you to be able to build wealth of some form. We want you to get a handle on that. So he will be bringing to you again the kingdom principles. Then my good friend, the next one. So Philip is going to be on at 3 o'clock. The next presenter now is going to be Mr. Don Daniel. Oh man, I love Don, man. Don is the best-selling author of the book called The Pill Method. Listen, folks, if you go on YouTube and just watch some of these videos, you will. Okay, let me just tell you this. When I was actually in Huntsville, Alabama, my wife and I was going to a university there called Oakwood University. Don Daniel, this is how I'm telling you, sometimes the prophet has no honor in his own hometown. I have a friend who's actually one of the presenters I'm going to tell you about next. He told me that this guy is on campus talking about finances and so forth, and I was like the typical person at that time and season in my life. Of course, I was a young brother at that time. And I said, man, he's probably going to be selling something. I don't need to go to that. Now, Fast forward several years now. This was just a couple of years ago, right here where I'm at now. I went online because I had a need now. My church, I had set the audacious goal when I came here that I'm going to pay off our church mortgage because it's causing us not to be able to realize the kingdom principles and of serving and being a blessing. Because all of our money, we couldn't even do evangelism good because the monies are all into this mortgage. Furthermore, I believe and I realize that what's going to be happening here right now is going to be happening in the near future. We brought a financial analyst to our church, and he actually showed us the quantitative wave theory of economics, and here we are right now. This was 2018. Actually, we brought him afterwards. We had already set the goal, but I was trying to get the church motivated by all bringing all these kind of things to their mindset. So when we brought this expert in, he showed us, based on the quantitative wave theory and also from Bible prophecy, that between 2020 and 2021, there's going to be an economic crisis. And here we are, lo and behold, okay? Because we're now at the end of the fifth quantitative wave. These are stuff that, again, just go research it and check it out. So, Don Daniels, I need a system. Remember, I'm the guy with systems and processes. How are we going to pay off this church debt? I saw a video by Don Daniel online, and I said, this is the guy several years ago when I was in Huntsville, Alabama. This is the guy that came that was explaining how bills and debts and mortgages and credit works. But you see, I was not ready. I hope you will be ready. Do not dismiss the prophet, folks. People sometimes ignore information to their own peril. I probably, again, could have been more advanced in this area had I taken Don seriously at that point. I watched the video once. I watched it twice. I watched it 3 times in a row online because I could not believe what I was hearing. I could not even still fathom, as a person who is well read, who has academic degrees behind my name, and yet I did not even understand how truly credit work, how loans work, and all of this stuff. Don broke it down in about 30 minutes. That's why I had to watch it over, because what he's saying is so counter to the culture, but that's why you need to listen to him. I used Don Daniel's principles and we paid off our church mortgage. Now we have 2 churches that are 100% debt free. Think about that. Many people now who are stressed financially, we as a church don't have to stress them further. Why? Because we saw the church needs to be debt free as the people need to be debt free. So now the church don't have to be, even if the people, now we of course encourage people to still do the things and whatnot. But my point is this: if they are stressed financially, they don't have the extra stress of, well, I have to support the church, because if I don't, then the church is all right. The church is all right. We have 2 churches. Both of them are 100% debt free. That lifts a big load off of my shoulders. Why? Especially now, I said, thank you, God, that I was able to have this vision from you and we followed through. But again, it probably would have taken longer if I didn't have a good system. But Don Daniel's pill method is the system I use. And when Don Daniel released that book, I was able to help him to be able to rank as a #1 bestseller on Amazon in the Christian category. Don Daniel has sold many books there. Actually, his release, if I'll be honest, my book, Monetize Your Skills, became a bestseller in his release. Don Daniel did way more copies than I did in the launch of my own book, because the content is so power packed. You got to be there, folks. If you want to learn how to pay off your mortgage, if you want to learn how to pay off credits, how credit really works, if you want to learn how you can be debt free no matter the size of your mortgage without increasing, by the way, you don't even have to increase your income. On the same amount of money you make every single month, you can be debt free. Don Daniel actually teaches, and his program, every single person can be debt free in a matter of 7 to 10 years maximum. Between 7 to 10 years, even if you have a mortgage that is out of this world, provided, of course, you're still working, right? But we say you don't have to make more money. He will show you to the penny how much money you can save and how you can get out of debt swiftly. I am a living testimony. My church family is a living testimony. I can point to you that I implemented a system. And I personally got behind his stuff saying, listen, Don, your book needs to be in the hand of many people, and I'm just going to recommend this tweet. And I was able to help him promote his book to #1 bestseller. So you want to be there. 4 o'clock, okay, on June the 28th is Don Daniel. The next person is a good friend of mine, okay, good friend of mine. He is a dentist, right? He has, of course, right? That's a doctoral degree. He's an entrepreneur. He's a missionary at heart. We've done work together. And this brother finds time to read, see patients, do all of that, and still find time to invest in real estate. And he's even younger than myself. So I'm going to bring on to you Dr. Jeffrey Pascal is the 5 p.m. presenter. Okay, Jeffrey Pascal. He is a physician. He is a Christian. He's a man of God, man of deep faith, who himself goes on mission trips even to this day. But I reached out to him. I said, Jeff, and he's even today, just as actually when I got on here, he even sent me a picture, right, of what he's doing. He just put another investment on a property that he's buying in California right now. This is a young man who has a system and a process to build wealth in the real estate section. So again, you're going to get biblical principles for wealth building, right? Straight from the Bible. There's not going to be any secular stuff there. Okay, Philip Westerman is going to give you that. Again, he himself is a financial advisor. He has helped people to do investing and all that stuff. He's going to be on there. Then Don Daniel, my man. I'm telling you, if you listen to that, you will agree with me. A lot of what people are doing out there is even sinful when I think about it. I said, God, how is it that these people are ripping us off, but we signed the note? Then Jeffrey Pascal, Dr. Jeffrey Pascal, will teach you about how anybody can actually begin investing. Now, I'm going to listen. Whatever it is, jump on there. Don't make excuses. Get on there. Then yours truly will come on now and show you how you can monetize your skills. Okay, we're going to give away copies of our books. Don is going to give away a chapter of his book, and he's also going to give you an Excel form for planning out your family, finances. Okay, he's going to give that right there too. Is very valuable. Okay, I'm going to give you a full copy of my book, digital version, and then also we're going to give away for one or two people who are alive. We're going to do like a drawing, and we're going to give you access to Monetize Your Skills Academy, the online course. Okay, if you go right now, this is a $997 value course, but right now we're actually selling it on our website for $500. We're going to give away 2 copies of that course as well. So that's why I want you to be there, because we are able to help physicians, we're able to help professionals, as we said, to be able to monetize their skills. Okay, we're going to show you. Just today I was looking at some Amazon sales from one of the physicians that we are helping. They were able to make a good killing there, but we help them to monetize their skills, take their knowledge and create books, courses, and show them how they can do other products and extend their business. We want to give you how to do that in this live seminar as well. So I will take the last hour and bring it home. I will close it out on that Sunday, showing you how to monetize your skills in several ways using the power of technology and the internet. Okay, so again, please do me a favor, click right now, at least go check it out, read the description, read what's on the page. So right below this video, you should see the link to be able to go there. Okay, so it says Biblical Finance Summit Online. Go ahead and click on there. It'll take you to the form. Or you want to go to strategicsecrets.com. That's my main website. But you can go to strategicsecrets.com/financial summit. strategicsecrets.com/financial summit. If you go there, you want to register, share the link. Do me a favor, share it on Facebook, share it on all your social media outlets, send an email, your mommy, all of them, your daddy, your brother, your uncle, all of them need to be there. Even your doctor, your nurse, whomever you know, tell them they need to be here. Why? Because we need economic liberation. The world right now is in a financial mess. People need answers, and you cannot just simply pray for things to get better. You want to pray, but this is the answer that God has given. After you prayed, God is giving you now wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Don Daniel has done it. Don Daniel has helped many people to get on the road to financial liberation. Jeffrey is doing it. He himself has real estate investment. He's doing it. Philip has done it. He's helped others. This has been his job, right? That was his job. He was a financial advisor for several years. Now he's doing project management, and he's a great employee, as well as he is an elder in our church. He's a godly man, God-fearing in all that he does, and he has even a lot of miracle stories on his job, the way God works with him. So you want to be there for that presentation. Okay, so may God richly bless you. Thank you for coming out. Again, go right now and register. I'm going to redirect all of you over there now. So we see you on next week.